Well, hello everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We're just starting our elevation call tonight. And I know it's a really special day. It's a special family day. So I appreciate you guys making time for this call and prioritizing it. This is a really special time for us, Lisa Bell and Hal Henson here. One of the things we always like to review, especially if we have new people on the call, new ambassadors.
Do we have any new ambassadors on the
Well,
call?
we probably will at some point. This is being recorded just because we do have some people that are having conflicts this evening. But we do two things primarily. We help people take back their health by purchasing wholesale, life-changing products. And then we also help people build wealth through the zelice platform and helping them turn consumption into residual income and tax benefits. So this call really helps us to fine tune and optimize. And the Project 500 call, I assume is still going on tonight. Do you know about that on Mother's Day?
I haven't heard
9
any
o'clock.
different.
Haven't
I
heard
would
any
assume it's
different.
gonna be.
So we're just going to assume that, and I'm going to turn this over to Hal Henson to tell us where we are in the month and tell us about the leaderboard.
So today's the 9th of the month, which means we are wrapping up the white zone, the first 10 days of the month, which is a time of really building your prospect list, adding names and numbers to your phone, your contact list, your list of names to contact, reaching out to those people, setting one-on-one, either Zoom or face-to-face presentations with them, really doing a lot of prospecting. Our focus during the white zone is prospecting and presenting zelice opportunities and products. As we move then into the next 10 days of the month, which will start a day or two from now, the blue zone, it's follow-up time. Follow-up is critical for every business, especially this business. Follow-up, introducing your people, your upline, your support team, your support line to the people that you're sharing with, seeing if they have questions. Follow up, and then enrolling those people. If you haven't enrolled them during the white zone, we want to focus on getting them started on product and building their business and begin to teach and train them on how to get into their back office. So the blue zone is really kind of where we each month start kind of locking things in with people. Of course, you can always do that during the white zone and the red zone, but we just give an emphasis each month that we invite and we show the plan, we follow up, we enroll, and then we help those people run toward their own rank and getting their team started and started being built. So that's kind of the basic rotation of white, blue, red.
And then let's talk about who's doing that right now.
So who's doing that right now? So how do we measure that? Well, you measure it in your back office by how many people you're personally enrolling, what your paycheck is on Friday. Remember, we teach getting paid every Friday. And the main way we get paid every Friday is by contacting people and enrolling them either as a wholesale customer or as a business builder in some form, bronze, silver, or gold. And we get paid the following Friday for those enrollments. The other thing that happens with zelice is that weekly on our call, we recognize the people who have done that, who are on the national and actually international zelice leaderboard for enrollments. And of course, oftentimes those same people get recognized on Sunday nights or Monday nights on the Freedom Call. So this week in the month of May, once again, Jason and Julie Smith in Tyler, Texas, woohoo to them. This couple, they're always enrolling people. They're always bringing their support team, us and their upline, and they have a tremendous upline into these calls and these follow-ups, and they're asking for direction. I'll tell you that the people who are on the leaderboard are there, who are on it consistently, are there because they're consistently inviting people, showing the plan themselves, giving an overview, and then enrolling people. And so that's Jason and Julie Smith. They're number 2 in all of zelice. The next couple, some of y'all may have heard of at number 7, hailing from Farmington, Arkansas, are Hal and Lisa Bell Henson. And so we made it up. We stumbled and bumbled our way back up to the leaderboard again. And here's the thing, guys. You don't do this. We do not. Lisa and I don't do this business all the time. People think we do, and that's all we do. But I can tell you that we do other things. But we are consistent, especially Lisa, in reaching out, talking to people, and making it a high priority with goals and intention in mind. So that's how we ended up on the leaderboard this month at number 7 is that we just steadily fill in the gaps of time of our lives with this business. And Lisa, how much TV did you watch in the last year?
Not a lot.
How much?
Like probably none.
I watched the Masters golf tournament, and I watch a little bit of we watched the Razorback basketball against ORU. But I'm telling you, we just don't fill our life with stuff that is not productive. And I'll tell you, for me, TV became, I just realized how unproductive television is about 5 years ago, period, flat out. So anyway, that's just one example. So that's enough of that. But anyway.
Awesome. Thank you for reviewing that. Mm-hmm. And you guys, we have some special things for you guys this evening. But one of the things I really wanted to do is I wanted to have a special call honoring mothers. And because this business is 70% women, and so often it's moms that are looking for flexibility and choose this financial vehicle as a platform to really help their family achieve health and financial freedom. And that's truly my story. You know, just 3.5 years ago, had tried in a whole different business within the network marketing industry to achieve financial freedom, and really never got where I wanted to be. And this business really came into my life through my son. And it was really my mother's heart that really wanted to make this work for my family. And so I wanted today to hear from moms. Tell me how Zelice or our product line has improved their lives, their families' lives, or not to say that anyone can't tell us a story, a testimony of either a customer or somebody that you know that's a mom that's had a positive impact in this business. So we really want to hear from you guys. So just shout out. You're going to have to unmute yourself and tell us from your perspective how Zelice has improved your life as a mom or somebody who knows a mom.
Or who has a mom.
Or who has a mom.
Okay, I'll just start.
Yeah, Gio.
I just, right before the call, I still had a house full because we, with COVID, we hadn't really been having many of the family together. And so there were several of us here. And when my sister-in-law came in tonight, who's never really, gotten involved with anything with Zelice, she had hurt her hand and has some arthritis, and it was kind of swollen. And the first thing she said to me tonight was, "Do you have something that might help my hand?" So I loved it. I loved it. So I gave her a little topical, and she said, "Oh, I love you." And I said, "Well, if I can help your pain, it makes me really happy." So I'm glad that my family is now recognizing that I can help them with their pain.
That's awesome, G. Well, you're not off the hook yet.
Oh, I'm not?
No, because I want you to tell everybody why you, as a mother and a grandmother, do this business. Very successful, retired teacher. Tell us your story, G.
Well, I really think that I was telling somebody this week that Zelice in this business reminded me to not give up on my dreams. And that's why I'm still doing this. I still have dreams, and I still want to help people, and I want to help people financially and with their health.
And you do a great job with that, G.
Gio, you're such a beautiful person.
Thank you.
She actually sparkles.
You really do. And you've had a rough month, as we all know, the last couple of months, or many people know, with family, and you just keep glowing. Gio glow for a reason, right?
And Gio, I want to also shout out to you that you have a great attitude, and you also did a great job getting one of your prospects on a Zoom with me and one of your team members. So great job on that, using the tools, using your upline validation this week.
Thank you. And thank you for always being there to help us out.
Of course. Awesome. Anybody else want to share?
Lisa, I'll share. This is about a grown son that I have actually. I have a son that came back from Iraq with PTSD. This was 12 years ago. And thank the Lord for these zelice products because it helps tremendously with his anxiety and it helps him to sleep. He hadn't done that for years. So, you know, I'm very, very thankful and grateful for the result that my son's gotten with these zelice products.
Hey, Jenny, do you mind telling us exactly which products he's found relief with?
Well, Jake takes CBD and CBG, you know, and he also had gut troubles, y'all. You know, the body is not compartmentalized. It all works together. And I've heard Steve say this so many times, you know, about having a healthy gut, you know, and all the chemicals that have to be produced in your brain and just, but Jake's had relief from CBD and CBG and the Dream and the R&R. And he also takes the biotics, you know, because his gut through just his anxiety, years of anxiety, you know, is just, they've all of them have helped him tremendously. And I'm just so, so grateful for that. So thank you for letting me share, Lisa.
Thank you for sharing, Jenny.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else want to share?
Lisa,
Yeah, there's Pat Taylor.
hey, they've all heard my story, so I'm going to tell one of my downline story. I sponsored a lady that's in my sewing ministry, and she was very, very obese. And she came to my dinner on Thanksgiving week, and I introduced her to Burn. So she started taking Burn. And since Thanksgiving, she's lost 80 pounds. She has gone from a size 4 X pants to a size 1X pants. She also, you met her, this is Pam I'm talking about.
We met her, absolutely.
Right.
That's amazing, Pat.
She has gone off of Lortab, Tramadol, Neurontin, and one other medicine I can't remember, and her blood pressure medicine, she's dropped from 100 milligrams down to 10 milligrams in that length of time, taking Burn and CBD.
That is
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And Pat, let me ask you this. Why are you doing this business?
I did this business because I was invited to hear the science of the endocannabinoid system. And I've been a nurse for 55 years. And when I heard the science by Dr. Stephen Todd, it made sense. And so I started taking it for my arthritis. I have arthritis for years and years and years. And what happened is within 3 days, my irritable bowel syndromes symptoms went away. And then a week later, I was able to put on my socks, because the pain had reduced to the point that I could bend my body enough to put on my own socks.
Wow.
So that's why I do this business. It makes sense.
It's
It just
beautiful,
makes
Pat.
sense.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Hey, Lisa, Hal, it's Holly.
Hey, Holly.
Hey, I'm in my car.
Thank you for getting on.
Yeah. Well, I guess, Lisa, since you introduced this to me 2.5 years ago, I guess I can honestly say, as a mom of 4, I actually have 3 of my 4 children and some grandchildren that are on zelice products. My son who had adult ADHD pretty badly and has taken it now for 2.5 years. My daughter, who struggled with postpartum for 2 years and anxieties, have been on it now for a little over 2 years. And her children are both on it, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. They take it like little birds every day, along with their support C. And then another daughter who's 25 that's on it. So, and she's taking it for more hormonal stuff. So of my 4 children, 3 of them are on product and have been for quite some time. I personally, am on it, wouldn't live without it. My house looks like a zelice market, just like so many of you guys. And then I think for me on Mother's Day, the biggest thing is to be able to do this business with my mom, who's 83 years old, still very healthy, and how we know that, as healthy as she can be. Don't want to steal your thunder about Mother's Day, being able to be in a business with our mom, but what a real privilege to be able to be in a business and just do, just part-time with her, and to be able to go out and visit with people and do that. So for me on Mother's Day, that makes it even more special, is not just to be involved with my own kids, but with my own mother, and obviously my brother and my beautiful sister-in-law. So, and another sister that's on product, and another brother that's on product. So, just, it's a family thing for us. So just wanted to share that.
So do you mind if we pause just a minute? Thank you, Holly. Thank you. Because you just brought up something talking about our mom and having the privilege of building this business with her. And many of y'all have met her. But let's just, I just want to acknowledge that some of our ambassadors this year, even recently, have lost their moms. Today and this weekend, we had my mom with us, but Lisa lost her mom 29 years ago. And yet it's still very tender and fresh to her at Mother's Day. And I know, I'm not going to mention everyone, but I know Jim Ferguson, Lyndon Peterson, and there may be more. I'm just not coming to mind right now that have recently lost their moms. And so spending the first ever Mother's Day without their mom. So we just want to acknowledge that. And, we're a family, and those losses are real. And so anyway, I just want to acknowledge that and say to all of us, we're very grateful to be doing this together and supporting and loving each other, and our moms and our kids are all, and families are a part of that. So,
and on a lighter note, Holly.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I appreciate that very much. But on a lighter note, I got the absolute joy of helping your mom kind of evaluate going from living in her own home to living in an independent living, really high-end, beautiful facility, that she is very excited that she has gotten approval to bring her business there, and how she's pimping hemp with these seniors at this independent living place. And she's very excited.
So the name of the movie is Helen Got Her Groove Back. How Helen got her groove. Anyway, that's Zelice. Is switching she's going to be able to just live her life in a community of people, and it's going to be really good for her. But Lisa got to really help with that.
I did, and it was just she's 83, going on 84,
going on like 55.
Going on 55, and here she is so excited that she is looking forward to having her income go up, because she's got a whole new pool of eligible people that she can market to, and they're kind of captive.
And she just gets, anyway, so that's enough about mom. So,
anybody else want to share?
If you don't mind, I really would.
Please, Linda.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, having family in this business, Jim, Steve and I lost our mom and dad 30 days apart 3 years ago. And our mom would have, she would talk about get her groove back, man. She would have gotten her groove in this business. There's no doubt, had she been here. But I wanted to talk about my family and the restoration that Jim has had for his health, because, we kind of fly through that sometimes. But when I really think about it, Jim was injured 8 years ago now. And I remember that for about 4 to 5 years, we still had young kids in the house. Jack is now almost 19. So that would have made him 10, 11 years old. And he was rambunctious, and, as he is now, and Max too. And I can just remember for, 2 to 3, 4 years that, we couldn't have noise in the house. We couldn't have a lot of activity. So we walked around Jim because of, and I don't, I want you to know how very real our life was. He had mood issues, he had pain issues, he had all these things that we were dealing with. And now he wrestles with our kids, and, they're much bigger now. He probably should have wrestled with them when they were younger, littler. But, he wrestles with them and laughs with them. And there's nothing I can say other than thank you so much to Donna Phillips for sharing this wonderful product with us and letting us, get my husband back and create financial security for our families. So I'm forever grateful.
Thank you, Linda. You guys are doing a great job at the force with which you share this and support your team. We're going to come back to that. Anybody else want to share just any stories about moms and how this business has helped families, the product or the business?
Lisa and Hal, it's Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Hi, how are you? Happy
We're
Mother's
good.
Day.
Good to see you. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks to you.
Some of you know my story, but I had breast cancer back in August of 2013 when I was diagnosed. And all that time of surgeries and not very much sleep because of medication I was on. There was hormone blockers and just 2 hours of sleep I would get, and then I'd be awake all night. I just hated going to sleep. And about 5 years into that is when I was introduced to Ultracell. And I started taking, within a month, I was sleeping. Even though I'd wake up, I'd get back to sleep. And I was still on the medication. I really only been off the medication for a year. So it's been 7 years, almost 8 years since my diagnosis. But it just gave me such relief. And I think it just helped my body heal because I was getting that restorative sleep that I really wanted so badly. And medication didn't help me sleep. It would give me headaches. And the reason I continue in this business is because I want to help others that are going through the same thing. And that's my targeted kind of ambassador, wholesale customer kind of target, because that's true to my heart. And I know how much it helped me. So I just have that kind of giving heart anyway, and I want to help everybody. And not everybody wants to listen, but eventually they do come around. But that's why I do this business. The money comes in, which is great to have, but that wasn't my true reason for doing the business. Just had somebody that I worked with in Florida that she just called me. She has rheumatoid arthritis and she's just in so much pain. And she just joined with me with a wholesale customer today and is going to put her husband on it. So that's my reason behind it. I wish I can get all my kids on it. I have one on it. And my brother's just too stubborn to get on it. But hopefully they'll come around. But that's my reason for getting into it. And I'm hoping I can get more and more people that have had breast cancer or any kind of cancer for relief of pain, and mostly sleep is the biggest reason that I've heard from everybody that I talk to.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing your story,
Thanks,
Debbie,
Debbie.
and for all the work that you do. You're just very, very consistent getting this in front of people. We learn a lot from you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And
Thank
we
you
have
for your help.
absolutely, girl. We love that. We have time for one more. And so if anyone else wants to share, just unmute yourself, shout out. And if nobody else wants to share, we'll go ahead and we'll transition to our next segment. You want to take this?
I think Angela was trying to get on.
Oh, Angela, are you going to say something?
She would look like she was trying to get on.
Let's see. Angela, are you trying to unmute?
Do we still
Yeah,
have?
they're ready.
Okay. All right. So we're going to transition now to kind of our teaching point, our awareness point, coming to perspective point. And tonight we're going to share really this whole next teaching time with Dr. Jim and Linda Ferguson. So Lisa and I talked about how do we want to approach this with the Fergusons, because we can go two ways. We can say, Jim and Linda, tell us all about your travels, tell us what you've been doing for your team, and so forth. And I said, Lisa, let's take a different angle. And that is this, a lot of the people in our business still and on this call are not necessarily quite ready to leave their market because they haven't been, to go travel and build their team to the extent that the Fergusons just did. 12 states and 12 12 days or whatever it was. And there's very, very few of us who are in a position with zelice where it makes any sense for the building of your team, for the structure of giving, where you give your energy, attention, and money. But the Fergusons are there, and they've been there a while, and they know how to do it. They know how to do it well. But here's what I told Lisa. I said, Lisa, let's talk with the Fergusons tonight. And I know they have a couple of slides and they're going to teach us, but how many of you would like to have Hal and Lisa come to your town and to do meetings for you? How many of you would like to have the Fergusons to come to your town? They're in your down, they're upline leadership for you, or the Todds, area ambassadors to come to your town. Look, all these hands going up. Everybody wants them to come. Now, look, here's the thing. The way this business is designed is we come where the people are showing the plan, and where the people are, where the teams are taking charge of their community and creating volume and numbers of people who are engaging consistently and regularly. So, how to say that. And so the Fergusons have learned how to do that themselves. They've created teams all over the country, and they travel to those places where people are either brand new in the sense of their building. Well, they can tell us about it, but the point is, this isn't about go out, drive all over the country, everybody, and build your team. This is how do you get your leadership to come to your community to help you build after you have done certain things. So anyway, Jim and Linda, I don't know if we want to interview you guys or if you want to just take it from here, and then however y'all want to, we just turn it over.
You tell us how we can best.
We're free flowing. We just
basically have one slide to put up, and
let's do this. Let me ask you this. You guys just got back from a big trip.
Yeah.
What was your basic, why did you go? Why did you go down there, wherever you went?
Okay. Well, I heard something years ago that kind of resonated with me. And I'm a very good listener at times, and I was kind of like being a fly on the wall, listening to some leaders talk one day. And there was this one guy, he was very intelligent and very smart type of guy. And he was talking to his upline, and he says, look, every time I go to this place, they grow. And every time I don't go, they don't grow. And he says, what do you think I should do? and his upline said, let's see, when you go, they grow. When you don't go, they don't grow. He says, you got to go until they grow without you. And so that always resonated with me. And the person that you personally sponsor may not be the person that's going to take up the mantle, but what you have, as long as they will invite and bring people, you may sift in depth until you find somebody that will pick up the mantle and run. And we just don't go to anybody at any time. There is a requirements. I mean, when we first went to Tyler, Texas, what was it, 2-3 years ago now, there were some parameters that Rebecca had to do before I would commit to going down there and helping her. She had to go to a function, a CBD social that they were holding in Dallas. She had to, be on the training call. She had to get people in front of the calls, and she had to sponsor 3 or 4 people. And once she had done that, I went down there to help support her business. But there are things that we ask people to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's a great point. Okay. You go until they're growing, and yet you had criteria for your team. It wasn't just showing up on a call. Okay. Yeah. It was many other things of activity. And so anyway, that's part of what you just described. Linda?
Well, and one of the things that we brought into this business is something that we learned in our previous experiences, and that was what it takes to build a business. If if you're in business for yourself, you have a storefront or whatnot, and one of the things that you forget to do is pay the electric bill. I mean, you're going to have a hard time being in business that week. And so there are a priority of things that we teach on a regular basis that qualifies you as a business owner.
Well, and they're non-negotiables if you want a big business. Now, if you're just wanting, a hobby and a place to show up, to have a meeting and to make friends and be social, then you don't, this is wonderful for that too. But if you're wanting to create an income, there are non-negotiables. You can't go up to a vending machine and ask for it to give you, the Chips Ahoy cookies out of it, and they're $1.50, and you put $1.10 in, and you just, or $1 in, you just want a portion of it. You gotta put it all in to get it all out. And that's very much this business. And I love the way that Stephen Thompson said yesterday during his training, during the launch training yesterday. He said, we're not in a business of sales where it's numbers, where you're just doing the numbers. We're in a business of sorting. And it's a 3 to 5 year business plan of sorting. And if you're going to, approach your future, your financial future with that, then there are certain non-negotiables as you go through that sorting, so that you put the odds to your favor, so that when you put, the full amount into that Coke machine, or that, whatever it is you're trying to get out, that you're going to get it out.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And so we're going to show you just what we call, the 8 intentional habits for success, or, we used to call them the 8 steps of a team player. I think that's, can y'all see that?
So not yet.
You're just starting. Yeah,
But
there you go.
these are things that you would expect of the people that you're going to spend much time with, and especially to travel to. Because I want to tell you, it is a long way from Henderson, Kentucky to Tyler, Texas.
It is.
Okay.
It is. But now, are you guys seeing
Yes,
a
we are now.
Yes.
black slide? This is 8 intentional, because we're not seeing that. It's kind of weird what it looks like on our screen right now.
Oh, it looks great here, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
You see that. All right.
Okay.
So the first thing is just show the plan. I mean, you got to be in business, and this is a business of moving volume. Stephen Thompson's going to pay us for 2 things. He's going to pay us for creating more volume in his business, in our business, and he's going to also pay us for expanding his business by sponsoring more people. And so you don't get to do either if you don't show the plan. And so we tell people you got to show the plan, and we recommend 3 to 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm. And, in order to make that paycheck every Friday, Hal, that, you speak of so strongly, you've got to show the plan. You don't have any expectations of having a paycheck unless you show the plan. That's the way that it works.
That's right. That's right. And showing the plan can be a one-on-one. It could be a group meeting. It can be sending out the presentations to people if they're across country or something like that, or it could be a Zoom. The presentation can take on a lot of shapes. You just got to be flexible with whatever your market is.
But it's a solicited presentation.
Right.
In other words,
You're not sending it out.
It's solicited, meaning that you've gone through what we call the 4 steps, in order to create that, that interaction with someone. And so showing the plan is the key thing. I don't think that's a mystery to anyone that's on this call,
Surprise.
but a lot of times it is a mystery whenever you start thinking about the numbers that you are or aren't showing. I mean, we work every week to show 3 to 5 business plans a week. I mean, it's work. We understand that. But when you consistently do the numbers, you will consistently have the paycheck.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The number 2 is a personal use of 200 BV. It's a couple. We're a couple here, and so I'm going to use a minimum of a bottle of Wholesale a month, and she's going to use a minimum of 1 bottle a month, and then
with the skincare ban, I'm not going to go without that stuff.
That's right.
but here's the thing, guys. We're not dealing with minimums. Success does not work off minimums. It works on you setting the example as leadership. And leaders lead by using the products and creating a template for other leaders to follow. And we believe that that model is a minimum of 200 BB. That is about 4 full-size products. And with the number of products that we have now that you can interchange with, so you don't have to store any product. When we got started, we only had 4 different products to use.
That's right.
And, but you should be able to do that. And also, if you say, well, I can't use the product, that's the reason why we have products to sell. You can use it by selling the.
Hey, Linda,
leader-
you guys are
Mhm.
cutting out there for a minute.
Sorry.
We lost you.
And back to your point earlier, those
Mhm.
products that you sell, they're used to sort through people who want to come on as
Great
wholesale
point.
or business builders. So you can make a little money on the products that you have to sell to make your 200 BB.
And that's number 3, develop 10 to 20 wholesale customers or retail customers. That's going to be the fuel that's going to be able to drive the growth of your business. And if you're a business owner, you're going to isolate that retail profit that you're going to create by selling the product so that you can afford to go to function, so that you can afford to put a tank of gas in your car to go to Louisville or wherever to chase that depth at a distance.
Well, I had someone this past week during the trip, I believe it was in Beaumont, talk about couldn't afford the product. I said, well, our first goal for you is to create an income, because this business will cure any ailment you have, and it will cure any financial ailment you have. And if your ailment is that you can't afford the product, then we have to create an income. And that means build your list of names to start with, show the plan, do all that.
That's right.
But the default, in our business, when someone says that, that this is not the right timing for them to actually go out and to build an opportunity, build a business, is, help them get healthy. So to create 10 to 20 wholesale customers, which help generate that generational bonus for you, and retail customers, which help create the retail cost for price for you.
We don't go out looking for those wholesale customers or those retail customers. They are an automatic default by showing the plan.
Mhm.
When people aren't interested in getting in business with us, that's the default. That's the fallback. Well, of course, you're going to want these products because it helps to restore your health. And so that's where you can come in with the 10 to 20 wholesale or retail customers. But most people do not have a business mindset. They're not raised that way. 98% of the American public are raised in a family where mom and dad both have a job these days. And our school system is not designed to, get a good education and, start a business of your own. It's, it's designed to create really good employees, and that's the type of mindset.
Or bad employees.
Right. Or just employees. They don't care. Right. And so you have to develop a success mindset. And the only way that you're going to do that is by listening to people that have developed that mindset. And there's great places that you can go. There's wonderful YouTubes that didn't exist years ago. And then, you read books on success every single day so that you can start permeating your mind with the mindset of a business leader so that you can lead others. And here's the bottom line, and how I think Lisa asked me the other day about this. How do you become a leader? Well, you have to become, or how you develop a team. You have to become a member of the team. And Lisa Bell and Hal Henson are the wonderful leaders of our team. And I don't think we've ever missed a elevation call since we found out about them when we were first in the business. And the same thing with Steve and Jenny. The reason that Steve and Jenny have a wonderful business and a growing business is they've set the same standard that we have. They've been, showing the plan, personal use, developing customers. They've been developing the mindset. Now he's a mindset developer, right? And reading the books on success. He's been a member of the team,
Right.
And he attends events and functions. Now, what is a function?
Ma'am?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Jump in
okay.
anytime.
So I think it's really important for the people that are on this call and to really start doing a checkup from the neck up about this list right here. I think it's very important, especially when it comes into, if you're not able to show the plan as often, or you have, you don't have the customer base and all that, it comes really down to this mindset right here. If your upline is still having to remind you of what it takes to build this business, in other words, events and things like that that Jim's going to go into, you're not in your own business, you're in your upline's business. That's pretty much the way that it is. It always excites your leaders, Jim and I included, when you take ownership and you're inviting to the calls as much as you're on the calls. You're taking the steps to showing the plan for others as much as you're showing the plan for yourself. All of that is so important with the mindset development. And you are the factory, guys. You may have heard me a couple times on some launch calls talk about, you are the factory, and get excited about you developing into the business owner that runs the factory, and if you had to hire yourself today, you Inc., would you hire yourself? I think that's what's important.
That's right.
And so I think the mindset, we cannot underscore that enough. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things are tools. You have to use tools in the business, and we can go into the app and the cloud and the great tools that we have at our disposal. Let's define what a tool is. A tool is something that we use as humans to maximize and magnify human effort. If I want to dig a hole, I can scratch it out with my fingertips, and it's going to take me a long time. But if I use a shovel or a backhoe, I can magnify and multiply my efforts, right? And I can dig bigger and better holes, right? But if I want to build a bigger and better business, we have to use tools. One of the greatest tools we have at our disposal today is this smartphone today. What a wonderful device that we have. And there is no reason why we shouldn't be blowing up our business, because we have such wonderful tools that we have at our advantage today. But number 6, attend events and functions. Now let's define that. And there is a phone call going on tomorrow morning that Lisa and Steve and Jenny are going to be on. It's a leadership call, and we're not qualified to be there yet. We're trying to get there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. But here's the thing. An event is anywhere your upline is that you are invited or expected to be.
Qualified to be
Period.
As well.
Period. So that means this call tonight. That means any call that you're invited to. That means that you should be there. And if Stephen Thompson says, "Oh, I'm on the call," and Jim, you're going to be invited to be there, let me be a fly on the wall, please, and because I'm going to be there. If there's a function that I'm invited or expected to be and I'm qualified to be at in Dallas, Texas, I will be there tomorrow, right? Because that is the price that you pay. When Linda and I heard that there was a CBD social going on in Indianapolis when we were in the business a whole week, man, that's exactly where we're going to be, because I wanted to see the Stephen Thompson, and for myself, and see if he was for real. Of course, we all know that he is, right? But I wanted to take the measure of the man myself, right? Because I've been around the block.
I think it's important to realize that your upline team leader is not going to come and do presentations for you, across town or across state or across country, if you're not going to be showing up at their events that are on Zoom or a phone call or something qualified. So it's really important to recognize that in order to get the attention of your upline and your upline leadership, that's real. Once again, that's a mindset shift.
And this phone call is not just Lisa and Hal's phone call. This is my phone call. This is my elevation phone call for my team. And they should want to be on my phone call as much as they are on Lisa's phone call.
And you should feel that way about your team. That's the way you should feel about your team, that this is your call as much as Hal and Lisa do an amazing job. And thank you so much for doing it. But they put it together and they organize it so that you can grow and build your team.
Yeah, most of the time, Hal and Lisa are just working for me. They just don't know it.
They are awesome.
You know,
They are
but the next
awesome.
thing is counsel. You know, be teachable, counsel. Be open. Be willing to get naked in front of your upline as far as your business goes. Expose it. All the warts and every scars and everything. And
counsel means being vulnerable, recognizing that you don't know it all. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that Jim and I we've had to learn to humble ourselves and we're still learning. We don't know it all, and we know we don't know it all, but to be humble enough to say, hey, I don't know it all. What else can I learn? And to sit at the feet of, at the feet of people with such wisdom. And I hope that's the way you feel about your upline team leaders. And, the magic words are, what do I do next? And then comes in accountability, because then once you get the answer to what I do next, then you're accountable to follow through with that answer.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And accountability is being a person of your word. Just, if you say that you're going to be there, they can count on you. If I don't show up for something, you need to call the state police and find out what happened to me, because I'm going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and I expect that of myself. I hope that Hal and Lisa would have that same expectation of me after knowing me, that they would know that I'm an accountable individual. And if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if something interferes with that, find out what happened to me, right? And
that's part of, I think, the hardest thing that each and every one of us on this call, and anyone maybe in the business is pursuing it, is that we find that people have to learn accountability. It's not an ingrained character. It's not a virtue for everyone. And that's the reason why you get people that no-show you or aren't accountable to what they said that they were going to do. And I believe that was a very much a learned characteristic for myself, that my word is who I am. My word is my bond. And so understand, as we go through the sifting and sorting of this business, all of these habits are learned, but they are habits. That's what a habit is, good or bad. That's what they are. Habits can be learned. And to be a team player, to have these core habits, they're non-negotiable. Now, you can do 2 or 3 and 4 and maybe get a little bit of success with it. But here's the thing, when you get all 8 in place and you're consistent, and then you back it up with the leaders that you find in your organization that will do this, that's when you soar.
And to back up what Stephen Todd would teach you if he was here, if he was talking right now, he would say, take a screenshot of this and read it every single day.
This is who I am.
I show the plan 3 to 5 times a week. I develop personal use of 200 BV. I develop 10 to 20 wholesale retail customers. I develop successful mindset. I listen 20 minutes a day, and there's magic in those words, and say them out loud, because when those words come out of your mouth and go in your ear, they are programming yourself for success. This is you sponsor 4, right? And when that comes out of your mouth, you're programming yourself, you're hearing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Keep on pointing here. He's looking at the computer.
I look at the camera. I'm sorry. I would never make it in media.
So, but thank you, Hal and Lisa. Any questions? Very simple information, but information that we cannot share enough. Matter of fact, these are the checkups that we have to give to ourselves and help others check up for themselves all the time.
Well, hey, you guys, this is really just gold. And I was thinking before you even start on this list that I wanted to ask you guys, have you ever missed an elevation call? Knowing very good and well, not only have you not missed, but you have trained Steve and Jenny, who have trained their team to really be on this call and the Freedom Call and just modeling leadership. This is just a really brilliant list.
It takes
Yeah, and
people. Go ahead.
I was just saying, and I believe that we're growing leaders right now. I mean, there's people that are on this call right now who have seen this list a half a dozen times now. Okay.
And have committed to it.
And so this is what, you teach until it's taught. And then people teach it until it's taught. That's what develops leadership.
So there's a word here on the screen. All of these things are incredibly important. And it's if we went through and found the people who are earning significant income, have reached the rank of area or above. And like, I'm going to tell you guys something that on this call right now on this screen, there's two couples that are about to break into like big time national presidential diamond. All right. And one of those couples is talking to us tonight because they do these things. They do these things. And the people who have reached rank, I can tell you because we know people who are building a significant business, they do every single one of the things on this page, every single one on a regular, consistent basis. But there's a word in here. For many of us, we never get to the consistency because we haven't developed the habits, when we don't have the habits and we aren't intentional about these things, our old habits, our old way of life, our old schedules, our old mindset is what we fall back into. So it takes a consistent pattern of these behaviors that we each individually or as a couple must do, and also teach and train it to our people, our teams, for them to develop the habit. It's not a matter of, well, I've shown the plan of, I do read the books that Stephen recommends. I try to make every function I can, and I never miss this call. All right. But the fact of making these habits and every one of them to build a successful business takes some time and consistency rather than stop, start. So anyway,
That's hard. I mean, I say hard, it's not hard. But that is the flip
That's
of
the challenge.
That's the flip of the switch.
that's right.
It's just that consistency. And boy, when you nail it and you know that you've nailed it, then you're going. And I would say that the mindset is the key. One that has the mindset is going to work through these steps. And so I would encourage everyone to get with your upline leaders and say, what do I need to be reading? What would you success? Be prepared for the answer.
Yeah.
Just be prepared for that.
Let me give you an example. It takes about 3 minutes to pop microwave popcorn. Everybody agree with that? All right. So what we're going to do, and just like we have a 2 to 5 year business plan, everybody knows that this is a 2 to 5 year business plan. Stephen Thompson has laid that out from the beginning. But this is what I want you to do. Take some microwave popcorn, put it in the microwave, and microwave it for 20 seconds, and then take it out. And then put it back in for another 20 seconds, and then take it out. Then put it back in for another 20. You keep doing that for about 2 minutes and see how much popcorn is popped. Nothing's going to happen, guys. It's the consistency of staying at it consistently for that 2 to 5 years, doing all these 8 steps is what's going to pop the popcorn for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, just to kind of wrap this, the people that you went and traveled 2,600 miles for are the leaders on your team that are doing these habits, that you guys have been working with, that, they have really put the investment in. They're starting to actually grow their own teams. And I know that, Jason Smith is on this call, and he has been super consistent of being, on the top of the leaderboard. And I know you guys were in Tyler, I think, before you were in Farmington. And Laura McClendon has done a great job in that group as well.
And Jason is, and this is just an example of a new person. Jason is not retired. All right. He has a family. He has a job. He has a ministry that he's very much involved in his church. And so it's not, I mean, that's, I'm not trying to hold him out, but I'm just saying the Fergusons, even the Todds continue to work. You know, so we'll call them and Jenny say, I can't talk. We're working with the patient, you know, because they continue to, they're still working. And
That's right.
anyway, so.
I want to just make a point because I know we're wrapping things up here. You know, we have our team of intention that we work with, but I want to make sure that everyone on our team of intention, as well as everybody on this call, understands that if you're out there and you're doing these 8 steps and you're doing them consistently and you're not at this point in time seeing the outcome that you've hoped for, just continue it. That's so important because you're developing even deeper habits that become more, you know, there's non-negotiables. And I promise you, I guarantee you, I know that just continue to push against the rock. I don't know if you've ever heard that story, but you just push against the rock. You know, your job is not to move the rock. Your job is to push. Okay. And so just continue to move, to push against the rock and continue to counsel about what you're doing so that you can have direction. You cannot steer a parked car. So get into the action so that your upline leaders can move you.
You could be going in the wrong direction, but we can turn you around if you're moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
go ahead, Lisa.
No, I was just going to say, this reminds me, guys, that Stephen Thompson on his training call on Saturday said, what we don't have in skills, we make up for in numbers. We just have to keep talking to people. And I just posted on Team Unlimited, Tim Sales has a great, very short video on basically messaging, what we say, our talk tracks. And a lot of times people wait to have the perfect talk track, or they think that's our job to tell you. Watch the Tim Sales video.
So, and so along with that, that's part of the training, what you're reading or listening to, it falls into the same category. But let me say this, many people fall into the trap of saying, and it's a self-made trap of saying, well, you know, I've reached out to so many people and I'm just not getting anywhere. And that's it, okay? Or I can't get people in front of the plan and so forth. Here's what I would say. If you've reached out directly, not emails, not texts, not drip campaigns, directly to 3 to 5 people, and you cannot get one of them to get in front of you for a presentation, you need to contact your upline, okay, who has successfully reached area or above, and say to them, I have personally contacted 3 to 5 people, and I can't get anyone to get in front of me. And you need to get counsel. Okay, I think that was point number 7. You need to get counsel from your upline, and you need to be willing to be honest and listen. You need to be willing to re-examine what you're saying. And probably, if you've talked to 5 people, it's probably you're saying too much, don't know, you know, you're giving them too much information. You don't have, whatever the counsel is. But if you're not talking to 3 to 5 people, then you can't get told no 3 to 5 times. But if you're told no 3 to 5 times on getting together, then you need to get counsel. You need to get counsel right then from your upline. I do some trading, and my coach in trading says, if you have 3 fails in a row, call me. You shouldn't fail 3 times in a row. Okay. And honestly, you shouldn't. You need to get counsel. I don't want you to fail 5, 6 times in a row because you're losing money. You're losing opportunity. So that again, but you'll never know that if you don't go directly and do these things. So anyway, really, really great teaching tonight, guys. And it's more than that. It's habits. So.
Here's one more thing. One of the things I love, Jim and Linda, about you guys is that you don't sit around and wait for Hal and Lisa, or, you know, Jenny and Tony, or Stephen Thompson to solve your problems, to tell you guys what to do. You guys go and figure it out, and you do it, and you create value for the entire team. Example of that is the launch call you just did at 6:30. And I just appreciate you guys, the leadership that you take for your team, for serving the whole team. And on this Mother's Day, you have created for your team more amazing stories like the ones that were shared at the beginning of this call.
And I'll tell you what else you guys do. You guys always take action. You are always in action. But the action you take fits within, okay, it's your personalities. You may tweak it just a little bit, but you guys follow Stephen Thompson's plan. You follow our you follow our plan. What happens to us and you guys many times is someone says, hey, I've got this great idea. Can I run this by you? Can we do this? I've never seen anybody do this. And we're like, man, please don't spend your energy doing that. Spend your energy doing this plan first. And when you're like making 10 grand a month, then you can talk about doing some other different plan. Does that make sense? You guys are always doing your personality of what is here. So anyway.
Well, and we always counsel with Hal and Lisa before we do anything for the first time. Guys, that's a key. Before you jump out and do anything for the first time, you always counsel upline, because your upline, I don't care if they've been in one day longer than you, they've done it longer than you. And so you always counsel upline about anything that, if you have an idea, a question, concern, all of that. That's what your upline leaders are for. And and thank you, Hal and Lisa, for letting us be Jim and Linda. We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Hair on fire.
Hair on fire.
Hair on fire.
Okay, so there's an opportunity call at 8 and